Anyways, yeah, we balling and hold up, all of that good stuff. Let's talk a little basketball, man. Let's talk about LeBron James versus the Lakers. Let's talk about the clash of the Titans. You know, the Lakers are a bad basketball team right now. And honestly, I don't know if I should even be talking about them on the podcast because they're so bad, but I think they got so much to talk about. You know, you look at the roster, you look at the front office, you look at the team, you look at the coach, the record, the injuries. There's so many different things you can talk about. Do they blow it up? Do they trade LeBron? Does LeBron leave? So much that they're giving us. So I'm just going to hop on the gravy train and get me a little bite of this Laker action too, if you don't mind. All right, man. Look, the Lakers. I'm on the wrong page. The Lakers versus LeBron. It is truly a clash of the Titans. Why? Because LeBron is the biggest brand in basketball, and LeBron has been successful everywhere he goes. Insert LeBron, insert success, right? Now, the Lakers are arguably the most successful brand in NBA as well, as far as the team goes, especially the biggest brand. And over the span of the NBA's history, the Lakers have won, a bunch of championships. I think 17, 18, something like that. Don't feel like looking it up to do the math. Some people don't like to count the Minneapolis championship, but hey, they're the Lakers, right? So, but the problem with the Lakers is, unlike LeBron, I think the Lakers are a poorly run franchise. They've been covered up by Jerry West, Pat Riley, and Tinseltown. You understand? Jerry West in his playing days and his days as an executive, Pat Riley in his days coaching the Lakers. And then you have LA. People want to come to LA. And because of the success of Jerry West, the success of Pat Riley and Showtime, the success of Jerry West, the executive with Kobe and Shaq, and then Kobe and Powell, even though he wasn't there, he traded Powell to the Lakers. I think that there is this idea that the Lakers are this great run franchise. No, you're just highly successful. Sometimes how you have that trust fund kid who becomes extremely successful, but it's not because he or she did good business. It's that he or she just had access to resources and they did great things. If you look at the Clippers, there's nothing tangible to show it. But the Clippers are a much better ran franchise right now than the Los Angeles Lakers. If you look at the Lakers, post Kobe, what have they been? Nothing until LeBron got there. I mean, hell, at the end of Kobe, what were they? Nothing. They overpaid Kobe at the end of his deal. I get it. I would have done the same thing too. Why? Because Kobe had done so much for the franchise, and it also shows older players, hey, if you're a Laker, we'll take care of you. But there's this LeBron versus the Lakers thing, you have to look at it, and both brands have to understand what's at stake here, because honestly, neither of them needed each other. Because LeBron and Clutch have been a much better track record than the Lakers over the last decade. They have 4 rings to the Lakers 1, and that 1 ring was a LeBron ring. And if you look at their track record over LeBron's career, 4 championships to 3 championships. And again, one of those is shared. But the Lakers are a mom and pop organization with an overinflated sense of self-worth because of their past successes. They're an incestual team. And I say that to mean that they always got to have a Laker guy. They bring in Magic Johnson. Oh, yeah, he's a great Laker. He's going to run this team. No, he's not. He's going to leave. They get Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka, oh, that's Kobe's agent, so he's going to be a great GM. Maybe. He's made some good trades. He's made some decent signings, but I'm not sure how much of that's him or if that's LeBron and Clutch. And then you have the Rambis family who, for some odd reason, have an extreme amount of influence over what happens there, but nothing in their track record says they deserve to run anybody's franchise. And I don't think that any other franchise would allow the Rambis family, or the Rambi, as the NBA media calls them, to run their team. But guess what? LA has a big brand. They're LA. They get stars. And guess what? Usually when stars come there, they need LA to elevate them, right? But LeBron is a different type of star because The city of LA, yes, LeBron definitely, benefited by the city of LA. But the Lakers itself, LeBron didn't need that brand. Sure, it's helped, but LeBron is just as big as the Lakers, and that's why, like most players, they come to the Lakers to, get over that hump, to really solidify themselves, like a Anthony Davis type, like Shaq when he came there. Kobe got drafted there, but LeBron didn't have to do that, so he's not going to be embraced by Laker Nation because LeBron says, "Man, I'm bigger than the Lakers. I'm as big as the Lakers. I don't need y'all. Y'all are a mom and pop shop." If we're being real, if we look at how the Lakers have been ran, man, they don't even deserve the city of LA. The Lakers organization does not deserve the city of LA because the city of LA masks all of the problems that the Lakers have as a franchise. If you relegated them to OKC or Indiana or hell, Lakers South, the Pelicans, you'd really see how terribly run this group is running this team. And this team does not deserve one of the best cities in America, probably the best city in America for superstars. Because guess what? Every time they mess it up, there's just going to be another superstar who's going to want to elevate their brand and come to the Los Angeles Lakers. And then it goes, oh, man, look at the Lakers, man. They're doing it again. Well, yeah, they are. But who gives a damn? And now you want to get in bed with LeBron, somebody who, hey, it's the LeBron way or no way. And that's what it's been. And guess what? It works until it doesn't. He's going to carry you. He's going to get you championships. He's going to make you super, super relevant. And not to say that the Lakers weren't ever relevant, but I remember the D'Angelo and Swaggy P years, okay? They weren't the same kind of Lakers that they are today or they were yesterday. Why are we talking about the Lakers? They're not a good team right now. They are terrible. We got DeAndre Jordan throwing the ball to the 10th row. But they're still opening up damn near every sports show. LeBron. But when you get in bed with LeBron, you have to know what's going to come with that. And you're going to get pushback. He's going to hold your feet to the fire. And sometimes he's going to make bad decisions. Yeah. Wanting Russell Westbrook today, awful. It's not working. But for the Lakers to be like, you wanted Russell, so you got to live with it. Excuse me? Are we in the business of pointing fingers? Or are we in the business of winning games? Are we in the business of winning championships? Get off of the liability and try to bring in an asset. If you think John Wall makes your team better and you got a draft pick that you got to attach along with it, attach a draft pick. Now, and this is me in the short. Maybe it comes to fruition at the end of the season this year, and the Lakers say, hey, you know what? AD's been hurt. LeBron's been, this Russell Westbrook thing's not working, so we're going to go make a move this summer on the next disgruntled superstar because there's going to be one. And maybe holding on to that 2027 draft pick and that 2029 draft pick that they couldn't trade at the trade deadline, but they'll be able to trade in the offseason will get them the asset that they want. Maybe. But the idea that the Lakers are sitting here valuing draft picks, it's like, no, bro, y'all don't build through the draft. You don't cultivate talent. The last time you tried to build and cultivate talent, you had Lonzo, you had B.I., you had Kuz, you had Julius Randle, and those guys are gone. All of them are gone. But guess what you got for it? You sold your soul for a championship. And that's what LA does. They sell their soul for championships. That's what happens to people when they go to LA. They sell their soul for stardom. It was so funny to see on the opening of Bel Air when you got Jazz talking to Will, and he's like, hey, don't lose yourself in this city. Because that's what happens when you go to LA. You sell your soul for a championship. And that's what the Lakers have done. They say, well, they don't really have a soul. They just, they just wait for the next commodity to come in and they capitalize off of it. But, I hear all this talk about the Lakers should rebuild. I guess, maybe, I don't know. I was saying you don't trade AD. You try to get rid of Russell and you just build around that. LeBron and AD, it's worked before. Can it work again? But increasingly, AD is more injured, and LeBron is more old. So do you move LeBron? I mean, I feel like you can get a king's ransom for it. And you can get a jack's ransom for AD because he's still highly talented. He's just injury prone. So if you do that, do you really have the infrastructure? Do you have the patience to go back to the D-Lo years, the Swaggy P years? If you want to go back to the Swaggy P years, yeah, ship all your talent out, you know? But when you got LeBron on your team, when you got Anthony Davis and LeBron on your team and they're healthy, man, you're just one playoff run away from another championship. So maybe the poorly run Lakers will, you know, move LeBron, which I think that's bad optics. Y'all take care of superstars. Trading LeBron, who doesn't have a no trade clause, would be awful. And just know that you would never, ever get a discount from Clutch. Probably never get a Clutch client again. And I don't know if the NBA is, excuse me, the Lakers, the biggest brand in the NBA, is willing to sever a relationship with Clutch Sports. But knowing the Buss family and the Ramby, it's all about what they want. And, you know, it's like, hey, we want our team back. And it goes back to what happened in Cleveland. You know, their front office wanted their team back because they were tired of Clutch running the show. Well, I guess they were tired of winning championships, and now they're Cleveland. Yeah, I know they're spunky, but do we really believe a core of Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen's going to win a championship? I don't.